Time to fly, time to fly. Never give up, we won't retreat. The ones who stand up.
Hello friends, and welcome again to another Street Fighter Duel video!
Hey guys, welcome again to the channel. Today we'll be talking about boss rush and the new bosses that we have, different than last week, and it's Ken, Mommy Dalsim, and Nero. Yeah, like the title in the video, there's specific units, some strategies that you need to do actually to maximize your damage and to do more damage. Now there's one lineup that I saw. Actually, it's pretty pay to win, the lineup that I saw, that I didn't think about before because I didn't have the units to try it, and it's full pay to win that could help you actually to break the 800 million. So I'm gonna showcase that. Now, as this video says, as the thumbnail said, it's impossible to do the highest scores without 2 or 3 units, specifically one unit that you will see more often in all the top lineups that deals damage for your teams. This unit will be there, and if it's not, you'll not do anything, and it's Gouken. So if you're playing Gouken, you can deal without Gouken, you can deal damage. You can rank in the top 50 and get to the top 10 if on different servers. But if you want to rank higher and achieve the rewards, you need to have Gouken on your lineups. And the other unit is Evil Ryu, and I'll be speaking about that and explaining why. If we go and check in my zone, in zone 1, this is probably the most pay-to-win zone. So if we check, Gagon is one of the whales that is smart also and utilizes strategy and uses teams to get the highest outcome. So he's using Gouken here is with his highest damage team. Now his other teams are doing regular damage, decent, not that bad. He can improve that. There's different lineups that he can use. I'll show you what I'm using. My first team and my last team are doing much damage than that because I just experimented a little bit and I bypassed the 80-90 million threshold on that team, on those teams. In this team, as free to play, it's very hard for us to build such team with Summer Elena and Gouken. Where you can rent one and you can build one. Now if you built Gouken and you rented Summer Elena, that's perfect. If you rented Gouken and built Summer Elena, that's also perfect. If you're free to play, you have a chance to deal that damage. Many free to play went for Akuma first, so Akuma does literally nothing here. And Evil Ryu helps a lot, specifically with Mommy Dalsim team, and I will show you my run. So as we saw, the highest damage on this team is Gouken. Of course, he's playing Dalsim. He's using C1 of Abel, so protection, Summer Elena protection and buffs also. Buffs from Gouken and survivability, shields from Abel. Dalsim does Dalsim things, and this is how you maximize your damage. As you see, Dalsim did every single bit of damage. They helped a little bit. So what are the other teams that they're using? Same lineup, Gouken, Summer Elena, Abel, and Dalsim. And in the other teams, I think if he used Trendy Kami on this lineup, he will deal more damage. Anyway, Akuma does nothing. These teams, he should at least get between 90 to 100 million, him and Gouken on the other lineups. And if they achieve that, they will break the 700 million to 800 million almost. The third lineup, he's using, here we go, Trendy Kami, Athlete Chun-Li, and Rose, Diviner Rose, because she dispels and she helps here with the healing, the defense resistance, and the damage resistance from Athlete Chun-Li, and Ken does tons of damage as well, and Trendy Kami carries all the way. As you see, Trendy Kami does everything, buffs from here, here, and here, so she does incredible damage. Now, if you check the other teams, the people who's not using Go. Now, Islam Santos is free to play. I think he's a free to play or low spender. He rent a Gouken. That's not his. He rent a Gouken and he's dealing the most damage with this team, and this team as free to play, which is decent amount of damage. You need to be doing 170 to 200 million damage at least with the Guile Viper team combination. And you don't need Gouken actually here. I'll show you some runs that it doesn't need Gouken. This team is the team that I talked about in my previous videos. He's utilizing it. we talked about it before, and I'll be showcasing how I'm using different strategy. I'm using Abel instead of Zangief because Zangief mitigate a little bit of the flame damage, and I want my team to take as much flame damage as possible for Bison to keep exploding. And as we see, Akuma does almost nothing. 50 million is not bad, but there's another strategy. As free to play, I will show you that. And if we look at the others, no Goken, no high damage. But as you see here, the Guile, Viper, Street Poison, and Zangief, as I showed in my previous videos, this lineup is a burst team, and this is the maximum damage it will give you, and it will help you. With Goken, without Goken, you'll deal decent amount of damage here. So without Goken is your best chance to get it. And the other lineup that I want to talk about is with Goken, and I rented a Goken for that. Even though I have an Eva Ryu rented, I prefer Goken. If we check, this is a whale, not using Goken, dealing no high damage. He doesn't have the Summer Elena maybe, or he didn't use the strategy, but he doesn't have Goken, he will deal no damage. Yeah, so everybody else are not using Goken, and I will show you now my lineups, and I ranked 4 so far. It gives good results. So the first team is Bison and Abel. I'll explain it. Viper and Guile with Beast and Street Poison. This is not the best score. I did break the 200 million, but I had bad runs on these teams because I wasn't using these strategies. I was trying testing other things, but here I need to do AoE and I need burst teams, so this was my best chance as free to play. And the last team, yeah, 95 million, and this is consistent. I deal between 89 million to 100 million on this team. With this setup, with this lineup, I'll be speaking about it and telling you how. So let's go and check the teams. So the first lineup, you need to have full tanks with a heal and Bison Explosion because he gets damage from backline burn from Ken. And Honda does the wall, and for some reason Ken, the enemy Ken ring, is considered a ranged attack, which is, I don't know why. It's kind of physical, but it's considered range attack, so they get burned if there is no wall. But if there is wall, they don't get hit by the ring. So this is why E Honda C3 is used here by me. And what I need only is for Bison to keep exploding. I use Zangief on top of Abel, so he gets the plus 25% or minus 25% damage from flame abilities or anything. So he keeps surviving and consistently stay alive to continue my combo. Elena for the heals, so my tanks stay alive. Bison doesn't benefit from heals because he explodes, and his explosion lets him not take heals anymore. It's 100% you need to use Mad Ryu here because not Eva Ryu, we're using Eva Ryu and something else. So Mad Ryu on top of Bison because he's low HP, he deals more damage. Now I'm using EX moves, as you see. I'm using the Vigilante because it drops the drones, give us more damage. AoE damage from this, you can use any damage EX, but this one, because it's AoE, it helps us. And as soon as I start my combo, I use my Breath of Rage or Raging Eye for crits and more damage. So the combo starts like this. I accumulate combo meter until 3 almost, and I drop all my EX except the Breath of Rage. And when Bison is exploding, when he starts to explode, I start with Abel, Elena, Abel, Honda. Now why I don't want to start before he explodes or after he explodes, because I don't want to give him shield. He will explode no more from the burn. He will be protected. And this is the mistake with some rotations that I saw my friends doing and telling me, oh, we can't deal more than 40 million damage. Why we start with Bison, end with Bison? You shouldn't. You should start with Abel or Zangief, whatever you're using, but Abel is consistent, more consistent. Abel, Elena, Abel, Honda. And don't go Abel, Elena back to back fast, because Abel will miss his C2. You need to do Abel, wait a little bit, like 1 second, and then use Elena, C2, then quickly use the C3, because while he starts exploding again, you want to start with Abel again. And this is how the fight goes. Now for the second lineup, I'll be talking about something, and I tried it, and it's more consistent, which is not using a Street Poison, but using Yang here, and Street Poison on Guy. Now why is that? If you go and check Yang C1 gives the entire team 25% crit rate. Not like Chun-Li, 15% of her total crit rate. No, it's 25% boost for the crit rate. So if you have crit rate at 50%, that's 75% crit rate to deal damage. And it goes for 5 seconds. It means your C2 and C3 will crit. And when you start the super, if you're doing super fast combos back to back, it will crit. And then it will fade off. But you will use the C1 after the super, this C1, and it will give you another 5 seconds. And you will go C2, C3 with crits, so you'll always crit on this team. And why Street Poison here, not somebody else with high damage or whatever? So Street Poison, her assist, it will give you 16% crit damage every time you attack. So every time you deal a crit with the assisted fighter, they will boost their crit by 16%. 16% of the damage of the crit is insane. It's better than having 25% more damage on your team or on your unit while not critting. 16% boost damage for the crit is insane. And this is why it's the problem with me, that I didn't build him so good. He's still at 2 stars. I didn't build his FS. I don't have cars on him. His gears are not that good. So when he drops to the fight, he dies from normal attacks. I don't want that. She's more tanky, more bulky for me right now. This is why I'm using her instead of him. So, and Mayor Cody, because we continue the flame faction and he gives 15% more damage when he attacks, when Guile attacks against Nero. And I continue here, so the flame, the full faction, because I have 2 flame and 4 wind. So I get the 25% bonus, so 5% more attack instead of 20 only. So this is why I go with this rotation, and it's always consistent, and this is the highest damage that you get as free to play if you use this team. Now my third lineup, and this lineup I love it a lot. So if you don't have a friend that has Gouken, an A rank Gouken, if you pulled an A rank Gouken, he works, but he needs a lot of gears, maybe put an assist on him, just to make him bulky to stand the physical attack from the auto attack from Mummy Dalsim, and that's all. But he works from A rank till you max him out. If you don't have Evil Ryu built, don't worry, mine is A+. You can use him from A to whatever. He will stand there because he's protected by Gouken, and we have Summer Yang for heals and shields. So you need the combo starts with him, with Evil Ryu, Summer Yang, Gouken, then Chun-Li. So you get the 3 stacks of Satsui no Iki, and then you start with Chun-Li, Summer Yang, Gouken, then Chun-Li for the rest of the fight. Now major key elements here are to have Yun on, and to unlock his FS to +5 on Evil Ryu, because every time he triggers, when you do a C3 or he releases his C1, Yun will drop to the battle, hit your enemies, a little bit of damage, plus he will give you 80 points in combo meter, which will help you continue and be consistent with this lineup. And one major key element for this lineup to work is Witch Jury, because she gives the lifesteal for Chun-Li. She will keep surviving and leeching life and getting more hit points and surviving and not crossing the threshold where he have to save her life before she dies. So she will keep herself above 1% HP, so she will continue. Plus Summer Yang is healing and shielding, so she will have the survivability. And you're gonna reduce the energy for Mummy Dalsim like 3 times or 4 times, depending on how good your run goes. And whenever she crits, she boosts everybody in the team. Plus, she will gain combo meter after she crits, even if it was an auto attack with the crit. So this is one of the great lineups that I like. And as you see, the EX moves that I use all heals here, because Mummy Dalsim does insane damage. And this team, I saw every Akuma run, this team does better than Akuma. Of course, if you play Gouken with Akuma, maybe you can synergize with them. If you have Abel and Gouken and maybe Viper on the team with them, it will synergize and it will give you survivability. You will deal damage with Akuma. But you want to slap these units on other lineups to deal more damage. So this lineup could help you get there if you're free to play. Now let's go and check the replays. And as you see, it's consistent. 324 million, 273, 319, 321, and all the others were different lineups that I was testing with. Yeah, I started, I got the least with this lineup. I don't know what I was using. Yeah, I was using 15 million. It wasn't dealing enough. And I was using Goken here, but I decided not to because I found out that this lineup is more consistent. And these are the replays. So this is the first lineup. I will speed it up a little bit. And as I said, you need to pay attention. Bison, when he's exploding, you start with Able. And we drop every EX move that we have. Not the Breath of Rage. So, here we go. Bison will start exploding. I drop the EX and I start with Able. Now, as you see, Bison have no shields. Even that we use the super of Able. Why? Because he was exploding, it doesn't count on him. And this is how we do it. Every time he explodes, I wait for him to explode. He's exploding, I start my combo. If he's not exploding, I don't start. And I take my time a little bit to use the C1 of Elena, then the C2 of Able, and back-to-back C3 of E-Honda. As we see, Honda never dies in this lineup. Almost never dies, but he never dies. The only ones that is in danger is Elena and Able to die. And Elena is the first one to die most of the time that I've been running. And this lineup is consistent to deal for you between 70 million to 100 million every time. You never go below that, only if you miss your timing with the shields, if you do something wrong with the rotation, if you wipe from the start of the battle. So this is the first lineup, and this is how I was using it. I was checking on Discord with other players. Everybody is having problems with Mummy Dalsim. They're trying to rent Goken to use him there. That's good. This is how I used it with Chun-Li, and this is how I did the damage. So I hope this benefits you. If you had any problems, this will fix your problems. Now here I accumulate 3 combo meter. I use Akuma EX. Why? Because look at Guile above his head. He has the mark on him, so he'll gain the damage until the end of the battle. So this will help me to push. And when I want to start my combo here, after he starts his Super Nero, I drop the Tanuki because it will buff my attack up when I start. And I continue, of course. I use Viper, Street Poison, Blanca, Zangief, then Guile. And I use the EX move here, the Virtual EX. You don't need even the Virtual EX. I will drop it because it's not adding anything for me. It doesn't make you survive or whatever. It's completely RNG if you get hit by Guile or you dodge. So I'll be using different EX moves. Actually, it's not benefiting me at all. It's a burden here. It's really good, but it's not benefiting me. I need something to boost my damage, not to protect me in this lineup because it's a burst team. The last lineup, as you see, I'm using heals and Chun-Li is dealing pretty much amazing damage. And this is all thanks to Goken and Evil Ryu. And let's check the replay. So as soon as the battle starts, I start with Evil Ryu and I hit the boss. And I make sure he goes back so I can hit the C3 and he hits. Or he will lift his attack if you do it very quickly. And here, I get again and I start. And now he used his super Mummy Dalsim. I use the cleanse of Summer Elena. And I continue my rotation and boom, I drop him with the C1. So he doesn't start his mana from the middle of the bar, he starts from the back, from the start. And I do a rotation, then another rotation, then I drain his mana again. And I use heals, as you see. Every time I use heals. And here, nobody crossed the 1% of HP. Again, I drain his mana from full energy to 0 energy. And I continue and I use Chun-Li again. And now he hits me and it procs the survivability from Goken. I start with Chun-Li. Look at the heals. She's healing not just because of Summer Yang, but because of Witch Jury. And this is what keeping me alive. And again, I drain his mana. This is the 3rd time. And I start my rotation. I heal because of the hits and Summer Yang. And I deal most of the damage with her. And then I use the cleanse, so my units will not die. I use the super in the end, then a C1 because we're out of time and I don't have combo. If I start with Goken, there is no C1 on Evil Ryu. And this is how the battle ends. And this is how we got the 95 million. And it goes to 100. I did 110 million, but it was a fail run. Yeah, these are the lineups. If you have any suggestions, if you have different lineups, please share them in the comments. And yeah, that was it for the video.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, we thank you for watching. And as always, stay frosty. Peace.
Time to fly, time to fly.